Well, this has got to be one of the nicest engine bays that I've probably ever done. The texture hides a lot of the little flaws. It feels good. It looks great, and I'm actually extremely happy about it. I really like the open concept. A lot of you guys are kind of not liking it, but I personally like it, and this is a car for me, so I might as well build it to the way I like it. You got the radiator all in, painted gold. Now this is coming back out. I'm going to get a different cap for it because that one's rusty. This one here I accidentally threw in the fire, so I need to buy a new one of those. I might as well just buy two because this one's kind of rusty. I repainted all the line that's black. I like it. I really like this. Now, one of the other things that I do not like about this motor is these valve covers. You guys seen me complain about them already, but I did a whole lot of research, and the GTE coil valve covers for a used set on eBay without the plastic piece that goes down, because I need non-VVT ones, is about $1,100 to $1,200 Canadian, and I'm really not willing to spend that much on used valve covers. So I had to try to come up with a way to make these look pretty, and the way that I came up with, I took this piece of stainless and I bent it up. Now it's still got some green paint on it. It still needs to be polished, but there you go. I think that looks good. Yeah, it saves me $1,200. So overall, I'm pretty happy about that. I'm still trying to figure out what coils I want to run. If I run the LS1 coils, I got to come up with a different design because the LS1 coils will sit on top of this. So yeah, there's still plenty of stuff that I have to kind of figure out what I'm doing here. But overall, I'm pretty happy about that. I kind of want to run the Yaris coils because then they sit down inside there and I can kind of cover them up so that they're not seen. And it just looks for a cleaner engine bay. But today, we got a whole bunch of parts in. We got the new motor mount in. We got the new valve covers in. So what we're going to be doing today is, only one motor mount broke, so I only replaced one. I don't know if that's a bad idea, but this one here looks fine. The other one actually ripped right in half. So what we're going to do is we're going to install this motor back into this car today. And I may have got some cool parts in the mail and some more parts coming, but just a little treat here. There's a whole bunch of fancy looking aluminum pieces over here. But yeah, we're not ready for that stuff yet. What we're ready to do is to get this motor back in that car. So let's shove her in. It's going to be a little difficult. We got to line up the drive shaft perfectly. We got to get the motor mounts in. It was a very tight fit coming out. I imagine it's going to be a very tight fit going back in. So got to take the radiator back out. We're going to kind of push the power steering and the AC lines off to the side. Take the radiator out, that kind of stuff. And we're going to get this thing shoehorned back into this car. You guys ready to do that? Yeah, I am too, so let's get going. Well, the gold is in the car. We got the motor back in here, and I forgot how tall this thing sits in here. I did put new motor mounts. Maybe it sits a little bit taller because of the new motor mounts, but it sits a lot taller than what I remember. But it looks like it's supposed to be that tall, but the hood should clear. So yeah, we got the motor in. I'm going to put the new valve cover gaskets in now and start basically just prepping the top of the engine. And oh, so far so good, to be honest. We got this thing back in. I'm going to hook the starter wires back up. I'm going to hook the AC lines back up. I'm going to hook the power steering lines back up. Basically just start hooking everything back up. And then we can start trying to put this thing back together, basically. But yeah, so far so good. Little bit of a pain getting it back in. The nuts wouldn't go onto the bottom of the motor mounts, but I just had to keep persistent with it, I guess, and she went together. So she's back together. And yeah, we're just putting this thing all back together. It's got the coolant hoses going to the inside. Now I might have to kind of drop the transmission in a bit when I go to put all the wiring harness back on, because I didn't put the wiring harness back on before I put it in the car. I kind of want to, once I get the inner intake and all that, I kind of want to cut the harness apart and take off everything I don't want out of it. So yeah, let's start putting this thing back together though. Well, we're starting to get all this stuff in there, and it's starting to look pretty good. I'm a little nervous that the shift down cable for the transmission is not going to reach. So we're going to hopefully that's going to reach, but I think it's got to go to here. So I don't think it's going to. We might have to come up with some kind of longer downshift cable or something. I'm not 100% sure. But what we got to do, what we're doing right now is we got the valve cover off. We're going to throw the new valve cover gaskets in it. We're going to put all these puppies on there. And yeah, this thing's going to look amazing. So, Rock Auto Parts to the rescue again. We're going to throw both valve covers on. We're going to lightly put a little bit of oil down, and then we're going to tighten these things down, and hopefully there'll be no valve cover leak at the back of the motor anymore. We got some of the heater hoses hooked back up. We got some of the power steering hooked back up. I don't think I'm going to hook this one up because I think I got to like... what I seen on the internet was bend this a hard 90. We'll have to see. I might have to cut that one off and put a different one on. I'm not sure. This might have to change. I'm not 100% sure until I get my intake that I've ordered. I still haven't got the wiring harness down because I haven't really started looking at that yet. But what we're going to do is we're going to, like I said, do the valve covers. I'm going to throw the spark plugs on just for now so they're not all just dangling down with the chances of getting damaged. And then we're going to pretty much start looking at the wiring harness, I guess. Or you know what, maybe we'll go on to something else that's not even to do with the engine. It's mostly to do with the intercooler, which actually is the intercooler. But let me get the valve covers on and we'll get this thing looking a little bit better here with some of the other parts I built. Well, I got most of the stuff reconnected. I got my beauty plate put on the top. I got the wires ran to where they got to be ran. And I got the alternator plugged in, radiator in. I think this thing looks really, really nice. The gold paint just looks really good underneath here. You know, I'm not a big fan of gold, and everybody thought this was going to look kind of like a weird kind of gold. But this actually looks really good. It kind of like goes with the car. Yeah, that's got to be changed. I found a really nice one on... I
painted those too.
That one got thrown in the fire by mistake, so I have to replace it. Painted this one, but not that one. Got the fan off. I'm going to go with an electric fan. I'm going to try to see if I can get like a Toyota Camry set up in there because God knows I got 150 of them.
Should almost color match these.
No, maybe actually. I don't know.
Like if you had like chrome paint or something, but that kind of takes away from the Lexus.
Yeah.
Maybe make that a little duller.
Maybe.
Like this color, like a beige.
Maybe. Have to figure that out. But we got the new motor mounts in and everything like that. We are waiting on the turbo manifold, the turbo, the intake. There's still some stuff that we're going to have problems with. I got to order a different throttle cable. I don't know about the kickdown cable. This is all stuff that we're going to have to figure it out and try to make it work in the situation. So,
well, even before you get used to this, you need a strut brace and see if it'll clear.
Oh, it will clear.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
There you go.
But it's in there. We're coming along. Just got to wait for the mail. But something did arrive in the mail. You guys probably seen me tease about it in the beginning of the episode with this. But this will be the next episode. Look at that intercooler. We're going to be mounting this intercooler in the front of that. So yeah, I'm super excited. We got all of our tubing. This is just a universal kit, so we got to kind of make it work with the bends and the cuts. But I'm going to hopefully run that all up and through here. I'm just going to basically mount the cooler and do the 290s and wait for the turbo and wait for the intake to actually cut anything because then I don't want to make mistakes and kind of guess where stuff's going to go. But we're going to mount the intercooler behind the factory bumper and then we're going to try to put everything back on so then that way we can see if it's going to work. So that's going to be tomorrow's video. So guys, make sure you come back and you know what? It's looking really good inside that engine bay. I can't wait for this thing to go to... So,
Zim zam.
Thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you back here tomorrow on Zach's Workshop. More to come with Earl, the fat Toyota Supra. Take care.